Hi, my name's Hayley Quinn and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Every single week I'm trying to take 2 questions from my subscribers all about dating and relationships. So I've got my phone in my hand, it's because I'm looking at my Instagram account and I'm checking out what questions people have sent me this week. If you want me to send you a question in, I would love to hear from you. I read them all and I will get through them eventually. I will, and it's awesome. I've got so many questions. I feel very loved. You can find me on Instagram at Hayley Quinn X or on Twitter at Hayley Quinn. Leave me a comment if you can, letting me know that you've sent me a question, or tweet at me just to make sure that your one comes top of the pile. And I've got 2 questions this week straight from my Instagram followers. Hi Hayley, I find it hard to approach and start a conversation when I see a pretty girl to approach. I freeze up and try to approach her but turn into a stalker, which I don't like. Please, could you help? Okay, I understand that if you want to approach a woman, you can want to approach, not approach, and then you're like, oh, I've got so far, no, I'm a stalker, I can't do this anymore. The good news is if you're consciously aware that you might be behaving in a way that could be construed that way, you're not a stalker. If anything, you're experiencing what's called the spotlight effect in psychology, which is basically everyone always thinks everything is about them and that all the focus is to do with them. So you're walking along and you're like, she's seen me, I'm a stalker. Ugh. And she honestly is probably so wrapped up in her own problems and her own life, she hasn't even noticed. So we've got to get her to notice you. And you know what comes off as creepy to women is often if a guy isn't clear about what his intentions are. If he maybe does spend a lot of time kind of hanging around her, but is never really upfront about what he wants. If you can be upfront in a way that's respectful, you are doing the right thing. So I think that there was this old pickup piece of advice, and I'm actually going to say it's sensible for one reason, called the 3-second rule, which means if you see someone that you like, try and say hello to them really quick, because I tell you, the longer that you hold back, you psych yourself out and you start to think, oh my gosh, I'm a stalker. No. Also, to break out of this habit, a really sensible and practical thing that you can do is let go of the expectation of having a really big conversation with her and getting her onto a date. That's a huge amount of pressure to put on yourself. Instead, make your focus about giving value and making her feel good about herself and just paying the compliment. So if you can walk up to her and you can say, hey, I just wanted to say you look really nice today, and then give yourself permission to go. Just say, anyway, have a great day, and walk off. Now, if you can condition yourself to get used to being able to give her some value and pay her a compliment in a respectful way and then leave, soon, gradually, that's going to be less weird for you, and you'll be able to actually extend the conversation to the point where you build a connection with her, and if you guys get on, you can ask her on a date. But the first hurdle we have to get through is you freaking out and feeling like you're a stalker for wanting to say hello to her. You are not a stalker because you seem like a decent guy. Women want to meet decent guys, so begin to approach her in a respectful way, or approach her quickly because otherwise you'll psych yourself out, and set your expectation bar relatively low and focus on giving her value and giving her a compliment. And if you can do that, things are going to connect naturally, and over a period of time, you will be able to extend that conversation and you will be able to ask her out. Hi Hayley, I have this problem with girls. I know I'm ugly and all of that, but when it comes to a relationship, I always screw it up. I don't know the reason why. I always try to be honest and tell the real me. I try to tell the person everything about me and tell her about my past since the beginning of the relationship because I don't like lies in between us. I can say that I'm sensitive and I'm a caring person and I expect for another person to be that way, but it never happens. I always get disappointed. In the end of the day, I think all girls are the same. What do you think should I do to change about myself, and what should I do? I find it really hard to communicate with people. Okay, so what I'm getting from your question here is that you say you try and be honest at the start of the relationship and you try and be completely upfront about yourself, and at some of that point, that's why it doesn't work out. And that all women are the same, or you feel all girls are the same. Now, obviously, to start with a few obvious pointers, everybody is different. People should be treated on a completely individual basis. So you have to take people on a case-by-case scenario. Secondly, you mentioned straight away that you're ugly. I bet you're not ugly. Who is ugly? What is ugly? Stuff that. You seem nice. You say you're sensitive and caring and awesome, so let's stick with that. That is your voice of your own insecurities telling you that you're ugly, and we all have those demons, but you need to let them go, because I feel what's probably happening is because you don't feel secure in yourself and you're not sure if these women like you or not and you feel uncomfortable around it, You may be sabotaging the relationship. You might be looking for reasons for them to reject you. Instead, I think what's probably healthier and better is just you go, look, if they're spending time with you, they obviously like you and you are absolutely 100% deserving of love. When it comes to you telling them everything about yourself, go slowly. You can't tell someone everything about yourself straight away. You have to give it in little chunks. And that's as you build your trust towards them. So chunk by chunk, you give them something else about you that you want to talk about. After that, the next thing that you can do is after you've discussed this chunk about your life and you've got a chunk from her life back, you can see how compatible you are. I feel at the moment that you're probably rushing in, and then when you don't see her reciprocating in the same way, you're feeling like she's rejecting you or she doesn't like you as a person. Instead, just by slowing the process down and also by accepting the fact that she likes you, you're going to do a lot to build a more secure foundation with the women that you're meeting. And of course, the most important change that you can ever make is the one that's up here. So you've got to believe that people like you, and you've got to believe that it will work and that you can build something. And then you just take time to put together a relationship, because guess what? No one ever told me this when I was younger, but relationships take the good ones don't just go and it's perfect. They take a long time to build. So if you're not taking 6 months putting that thing together, it might collapse quite quickly. So you build good foundations, you build it like a good house, and it will work together much more effectively. So I hope that helps. And please, before you worry about the girls, work on you feeling good about yourself. And if you can make you feel good about yourself, I bet your opinion of the outside world is going to change as well. So thank you very much for listening, guys. These are some questions from my Instagram at HayleyQuinnX. Please comment on my pictures or give me a like and a follow so I know where you're at. Likewise, I'm on Twitter at Hayley Quinn. You can tweet at me and I'll be able to give you some advice through there. Just so you know, when I get a long question, it's like a lot harder for me to get to the root of it. And when I read a question, I'm like, oh my God, I really want to help you. So if you can keep it to like a text message length and get to the root of it, that's going to help me to give you the best answer possible, because I really respect the fact that you're watching my advice videos and that you're listening to me. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you following and subscribing. So keep sending me those questions, keep them as bite-sized as possible, and I'll be back again next week with another Q&A video.